Okay, what you saying, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Make sure you do check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. Link to that at the top of the chat or in the description below. You can find discussions there with other traders, including myself. Find out a little bit more about the prop firm Elevating Traders, and of course, find a discount code there as well. So if you are interested, make sure you go head over and check it out, and you find out more over there. But guys, welcome back to another stream. Interesting day today. We do have some news following up today with some CPI, Bank of Canada interest rate decision, and I think we have some more. What's up, Himanshu? What's up, Blessing? Yes, so we'll go take a look at pound CHF as well for you. CHF interest rate coming soon. When is that? I know we've got not Bank of England, Bank of Canada in the afternoon. Is the Swiss tomorrow or something? Because that's normally in the morning. So yeah, you got CPI at 130, Bank of Canada at 245. Okay, yeah, Swiss interest rate decision. That's tomorrow at 8:30. So that's going to be an interesting one as well. Rates expected to drop. Excuse me. And then we've got euro interest rate in the afternoon as well. So it's going to be an interesting couple of days. A lot of news today and tomorrow. And Friday, I don't think there's much, but interest rates for Swiss, interest rates for euro, interest rates for CAD, plus CPI for USD today as well. Might see a bit of movement in this point in the week. So interesting for us traders, opportunities it means as volatile markets come into fashion. But yeah, the main thing I'm focused on is the opportunity. If it presents itself, I'll look to take it. But yeah, we'll go through pound CHF. I'll just go through USD pairs at the beginning. Yes, we'll take a look at Euro USD. Blessing, no problem. What's up, CS Integrated? Hope you're doing good. Morning, is it over there? Yes, it is morning. Where are you? It is morning over here. What's up, Jack? Good morning. Hope you're well. So yeah, I'll go through some USD pairs, DXY, see how everything's looking from that regard. And of course, if you guys want me to take a look at any certain pairs, drop it down in the chat. We'll discuss and see what is happening. But we'll start with DXY as always. So dollar, looking very bullish this morning, pushing to the upside. Looks like we're smashing through, or at least into this resistance over here from last week, 106,600. So it looks like that double bottom has held very, very well from last week. I was looking for price to go and break through, but we never had a sniff of that really. Price gave us that really aggressive wick after NFP, strong candle closure, and we've been pushing to the upside since. So for me, looking to take advantage of downside down the DXY, not looking likely at the moment. Potentially, if we do reject the high and have a really big seller from that, then the shorts might be back on in terms of the bearish structure. But definitely, if we do take up the high here, things do get very awkward for the sellers. Still, it's not a buy opportunity for me because of where we're situated. Again, I'm looking at the higher time frames to dictate my bias. As long as we're trading in these areas, I can only be bearish or neutral. And if we do take out that high there, I will be a bit more neutral there for the dollar. So it's kind of like last barrier in place. If we do break through this barrier, then I'm definitely going to be sitting tight on my hands of USD. Maybe we're going to get a big swing to the upside. Maybe it's a big double top forms when we come back down. We'll see how things develop. But what I will say, if we do take up the high there, yeah, that's evidence that price is breaking structure to the upside. We've held these lows, and this could be a big double bottom for price to continue the trend. So yeah, USD is looking very bullish right now. We just poked ahead above the high there as I've been speaking. So USD is definitely very, very strong. I'll still wait for this candle to close, which is about 2 hours time from now when the stream ends. We'll be looking at how that candle does close. But if it does see a strong close above the high, that would definitely invalidate the highs here. And at that point, you've got a bit of a double bottom on our hands and possibly something like that. At least back to the highs here, which is 107.8. And then we'll go from there. Like I said, maybe we do form a big double top and we come back down. could be something I'm interested in as a bear. And of course, definitely if we take up the high there, that completely invalidates all the sells. And maybe if we do get a big breakout, we could be looking at a big push to 113 and maybe beyond. But for now, if we do take up the highs here, I will be looking for a push to 107.8, and then we'll go again. We'll see how price reacts, see what we do. Maybe we're talking about some sells, maybe we're talking about another breakout. But for now, I'll see how that candle closes. If it does close how it's looking right now, probably going to see more upside for the dollar to at least 107.5. So maybe some upside for CPI, but of course that could change things quite quickly as well. So yeah, taking that into consideration, looking at Euro USD. So Euro USD looks like it's trying to do the opposite, but not as aggressive, because this support level is still very much intact. So in terms of looking to sell Euro USD, because of course if dollar is going to break the high and go to 107.8, you're probably looking at Euro USD pushing back to the low here. The only thing is it's a bit tricky in terms of finding some shorts, unless you're going to drop right to the lower time frames. And when I mean that, I mean like maybe 15-minute time frame, because there could be some nice shorts if you do push a little bit higher, maybe back into these areas up here, and see a healthy correction that way, because at that point we're far away from support, back in areas where we're forming lower highs, as you can see pretty clearly. So this is kind of like a healthy area to short from. In terms of the 4-hour chart, I wouldn't be looking to sell because we're coming back into support, which is not really the position which I want to be taking any shorts from. If we do break through the low, then there might be some nice opportunities on the breakout back to this area here. So that could be a short if you're looking, at that 4-hour structure breaking. But if you're looking at shorts intraday, you want to wait for some pullbacks, because at the moment we're testing some support, which is not the best place to short from. So pullbacks to 1.05200 makes some sense. Maybe on a 30-minute chart, 15-minute chart, you'll probably find some nice entries there to maximize your risk reward. Maybe the 15-minute will make a bit more sense. But yeah, if dollar is going to break to the upside, of course you're going to see euro make the opposite move. So I think shorts in that regard make a lot of sense, but just where we're located right now for euro, I wouldn't want to be selling into that, just in case we do have a bounce. Like I said, we do have news today. Things can turn around, although dollar's looking very bullish now. In 6 hours time, it might be very bearish. We don't know. So I would be very careful with that situation, but some pullbacks and looking to try and keep up with that intraday momentum does make some sense there. So I'll be looking at some bigger pullbacks there if I was looking on the lower time frames, which I'm not. But if I was, that would be something that looked good, ride that momentum on USD, but at the same time keeping in sync with the bearish structure on the intraday time frame. But as we approach support, like I said, we could bounce here, so I would be careful from that level. But yeah, I've been pretty bullish on euro. I'm still not looking to sell because of where we're located again on the higher time frames. If I scoot to the weekly chart, and this is still very critical areas of support. I need price to completely break through this for me to be looking to short euro, because this is still bullish territory. Of course, whether we do bounce eventually or break through, we'll see how price unfolds. But I'm still not going to be looking to sell euro until we completely break through that. This is still an opportunity for a buy, not quite set up yet. Maybe we do respect the low. That could be interesting. But if we do definitely break through, then there's no buys to be taken, especially if dollar breaks the high as well. So this is like the last point of structure, because this is the low that created us the new high. So if you break through that, then yeah, I'll definitely be on the sidelines, or at least I'll probably keep an eye on the double bottom down here. But that really does lower the probability of us seeing that reversal. Pound USD, looks like we're looking tad bearish as well with this one. Not as much as euro. Euro is already trading back at the low, so I still do like the buys for pound, but I would be a little bit more skeptical. I'll be looking for a bigger pullback, at least to around 1.264, and then at least looking for the buys around here. Again, doesn't have to be a home run for it to be a winning trade necessarily. Even if you can catch a bounce of that low, depending how structure looks, possibly a push back to the high could be a phenomenal trade. 1 to 3, 1 to 4, maybe even larger than that, depending on your entry and your stop loss. But something like that still looks pretty attractive to me. I like the sells from up here. It doesn't look like we're getting there at the moment, but 1.286 still looks like a nice place for a short. Really strong support, strong break as well. Haven't come back for the retest. So it's still a fresh area of resistance where I do expect the market to react from. But of course, we can only look at that level once we're trading there. At the moment, we probably might see a bit of a move to the downside. So I'm more interested in 1.264 now, 264, 265, looking for that next higher low. As long as we can respect this low here, still looking for a bit of a bounce. If we break through, then we'll look at the double bottom down here. But that is still after £4 USD. Still looking at buying opportunities to try and take price to the upside. As I've said on multiple occasions, we're still testing or trading in areas where a high low could form. So until we completely invalidate that, that's when I'll look to switch the bias around. But for now, still trying to anticipate another higher low forming and a push to the upside. So still looking at that for pound USD. Dollar CAD, it does look like we're breaking through the highs. So at this point in time, if we can do that a bit more aggressively, because it's still very corrective, we're still firing a lot of wicks. We just had a bit of a candle closure this morning, but overall, not the best break of structure in the world. So I do want price to kind of show a bit more evidence to the upside of momentum really coming to the market. And then we can discuss some pullbacks and possibly either a retest of the high or a retest of this consolidation. Either which one can look good, depends on the breakout and how much momentum there is in the market. But either one of those areas, 1.41, 1.40820 look like good areas to long from and anticipate some more upside as well. So that's still what I'm leaning to with dollar CAD as well. But yeah, we are trading above that significant level on the weekly chart. So price is really going to give us a breakout. We are going to see USD be strong and dollar CAD continuing this uptrend. Then let's continue the uptrend, break the highs aggressively, impulsively, and then I can look for the next pullback after that and try and catch the next higher low. So overall, dollar CAD still very bullish on, but I need another break of the high before I do start to look for pullbacks to try and take price higher up. In terms of Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar, I believe these guys were very bearish. Really strong move to the downside. Looks like we're taking out that low there pretty aggressively as well. So that double bottom did not play off from yesterday. Again, we did get a bit of a sign yesterday that it's probably not going to play off because of the impulse to the upside and the impulse back down again. I was mentioning yesterday that's not a really good sign when you're looking to take some buys off another retest. You want price to push up and then slowly come back down. Those normally perform very, very well when it comes up and comes down straight away. And that's like a V-shaped pattern or an inverse V-shaped pattern. And normally they resemble a reversal. So yeah, price is breaking to the downside pretty aggressively right now. The next point of call will be down at this low here. Of course, it's in the critical area, which price did have a really big bounce to the upside from. Since we have taken out the wick low here, that's probably where we're going. There might be some nice shorts on the lower time frames to look at. Say we have another correction, another pullback. Could be another lower high that forms, and you could ride that back down to that low. We've been very consistent with all these lower highs. 1, 2, 3, 4 there as well. Could see number 5, maybe come back and retest some lows down the left. Could be a nice opportunity intraday. But again, you want to see a bit of a pullback before jumping into that. But yeah, it does look like 0.62963 is probably the next big area we're getting towards. And might be some nice pullbacks in the meantime to ride that lower. Ends the USD, similar situation as well. Strong break to the downside with this one. We had that V-shaped pattern as well. And the market has really let fly since that. And looks like we are just about breaking through the lows here. Haven't really got a daily candle closure, so it's not really confirmed yet, especially with a day like this with CPI in the afternoon. This bearish candle could easily close bullish and things could turn around. But if we are going to break through that low, the next low you're expecting New Zealand to get to will be the COVID lows down here at 0.5558. Yeah, that could mean a lot more downside for New Zealand dollar if we do see a confirmed break through this area, which I'll judge by the end of the day. But so far, looking very bearish. And if you can keep that up, there might be some nice pullbacks to look at for this one as well, to try and ride that momentum back to the new lows and into the COVID lows, more importantly. So, yeah, it looks pretty bearish for a lot of the USD pairs. Of course, we just had a look at the DXY. It looks pretty bullish. If you go over gold and silver, I'm pretty sure this had a big move to the upside yesterday. Yeah, pretty strong close there. So again, with gold, it looks like it's gearing up to a nice bullish move. If we can take up the highs here, I'll be looking at some pullbacks again for gold, because at that point, you've got some nice bullish structure in place. So you've got the low down there, you've got the high over there, you've got another higher low, and of course, another higher high. And at that point, I'm looking at us slowly making us way back to 27.89. And maybe we can look at a retest of that consolidation as a nice place for a buy. We'll see how everything unfolds, but I'm still very bullish on gold, still looking at the push to the all-time high. Just been saying I don't really have a setup to trade, but that could look to change very quickly if we can break the highs and get some nice pullbacks going. So this is kind of what I'm looking for gold. Not quite there yet, but it's a market which I'm still actively looking to buy. Just need to find a decent opportunity. And silver still looks pretty good. Bit of a move to the downside yesterday. I said that the breakout is not quite big enough for me to be looking at a retest of this area. So not really a trade I'm looking at, but the way I'm looking at silver is that there's still a long, long way to go. Expecting price to get back to the highs up there at 34.8. So there's no rush. Still looking at a nice pullback, which most likely will happen at some point. And hopefully I can get a decent trade in somewhere. Something like that would be very nice. High, low, right it back to the highs and trail stops as well. So silver, really nice opportunity. It lines up very well from a high time frame perspective as well. Strong bullish trend in the higher time frames. Pull back into the 0.618. Nice double bottom and breaker structure. So as we push up, looking for the swing lows to print in, and looking to see if I can catch one and ride it back to the highs. So silver is definitely something I'll focus on. But yeah, it looks like dollar is trying to push to the upside. And if it does have a successful break of that high, probably are going to push to 107.5, 107.8. So might see a bullish USD for the rest of the week if that's the case, but we'll see in a couple of hours how that 4-hour candle does close. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD. See us into okay, you're in Singapore. I had no idea. 6 p.m. over your side. Okay. Okay, exit sells euro, pound, and the Aussie since the XY reached my non-greedy take profit 106.6. I mean, really nice moves there. Really nice moves on USD instead of 106.8. What's up, Ahmed? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Hope you have a good day as well. Right back at you. Holy One, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, I remember you mentioned Aussie yen drop yesterday. 61 pips, nice. One candle still waiting for my sell entry. No signal. Oh, okay. No. Oh, okay. I haven't got an entry yet for it. Well, patience is key. Entry will come. But yeah, the yen pairs did see a bit of a drop, but looks like a lot of that momentum has kind of reversed with some of them, which we'll go through in a moment. Yes, Himanshu will go through Pound C Chef for you, no problem. Where to put your stop loss and take profit. Okay. Ahmed, yes, dollar yen will take a look as well. More, what's up? What's up? Welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you're well. Thoughts on pound yen now? Okay, so I'll go take a look at pound CHF, dollar yen, and pound yen as well. Again, if anyone wants me to look at any certain pairs, let me know. Drop it down in the chat, and we will take a look. But I'll go through pound CHF. You're asking where to put your take profit and your stop loss. You enter from current price. Which direction? Okay, you're long. Yeah, I'm not biggest fan of pound CHF, to be honest, entering in that area, because it pretty much is consolidation between this area and that area. So I really wouldn't want to be looking to take any trades in here because the conditions are so choppy. It's very difficult to get consistent good entries with good stop losses in that area, because where do you base your stop loss from? Is it down here? But then that will definitely skew your risk to reward if you're looking for a push to the high. But then even that's not the best place, because you probably want it to be at least below the low of the range there. Then if that's the case, that really does skew your risk to reward, and it's just not a great place to be looking to get into a trade. And even if you want to have it tight, somewhere, the risk of you getting stopped out is pretty high as well. just because of the natural fluctuation of price in a range, and especially a range like this one as well. So not a big fan of taking any trades in here. If you're going to look to trade a range, I'm always looking to get involved at the low or at the high. Very, very textbook stuff, but it makes a lot of sense and it works pretty well. Because you're away from the noise, you can get a solid stop loss, pretty tight as well. Doesn't have to be anything big because you get the low or at the high, and that opens you up to some nice, really, really nice risk reward opportunities. If price does swing in your favor back to the high of the range, could be catching some nice pips on that move. So in terms of where you should put your entry and your stop loss, I don't really have a logical place for it. What I do is just, you're not looking at really nice risk reward, but that's kind of where I would put it. But then in fairness, I wouldn't be looking to take any entries there. It would be near around the lows or the highs. So if you are long, where I would put a stop loss, it would be below the range because that's what makes sense. Anything inside the range, it just becomes very, very difficult. And then in terms of targets, I'll be looking at roughly the high of the range, which is kind of this area here, kind of looking at this area and that area together. So around 1.33. It's kind of where I would have some targets from. So that's kind of what I'll be looking at. But yeah, just the rule of thumb, it's very, very hard to get consistent entries when you are taking trades in the middle of a range. That's where you can get the most indecision and the most inconsistency. So yeah, it would be around 1.10969 and take profit around 1.13400 is where I would have that. But again, before you take a trade, you should already know where your stop loss and your take profit is, because it will come back down to your position size as well, because you need to calculate your position size for how big your stop loss is going to be. You could be risking $100, but if your stop loss is here or there, it might be 10 times that as well. So you have to already have a stop loss and a take profit before you take the trade, so you can calculate your position size more accurately. But yeah, pound CHF, I do actually like this pair if it does break out the range, because I'm looking at the big continuation of that drop there. So if it does eventually break to the downside out below the range, I will be looking at short opportunities back to the low here around 1.08. So this is something actually I'm keeping a close eye on. I've been keeping a close eye, in fairness, for the past 2 weeks now. It just hasn't got the breakout of the range yet. But I'm looking for it. I thought that this candle here was going to be the breakout, but it just respected the low and turn around, and it's just been ranging ever since. So I'm still waiting for the break of the low, and when it does happen, if it does happen, I'll be ready there waiting for my pullbacks to ride it back down into the low there. So I do like pound CHF, and that is my bias. I'm looking for the shorts, but as long as we're in the middle of the range, not really interested. I'll go over to dollar yen. So dollar yen looking pretty bullish. We have broke through that first area I mentioned yesterday. Very strong close this morning. As you can see, big wick to the downside, and everything kind of flipped about an hour ago. Yeah, well, on that hourly candle at least, really strong close to the upside. So if we're going to break through that, then this area now becomes the area which I'll be looking at, which is 153.5. I actually don't mind this area, to be fair. I like it because it's really corrective on the way up. Haven't seen too much momentum. As long as we can keep that behavior, I do think that's a nice place for a short. But yeah, I do like dollar yen to the downside, still bearish on the yen pairs. So as we do approach that area, we would tag the 0.618 as well. So that would be nice. If you can see some nice healthy rejections there, could be a really nice place to short, at least back to test some of these areas. Doesn't have to look to target the swing low, of course. Something like that could be a really nice trade. And depending on your entry, it could be a decent 1 to 2, 1 to 3 as well. But I am still pretty bearish on the yen pairs, looking to try and take the continuation of that bearish move. And 153.5 would be my area of interest. So if we can keep up this corrective behavior, don't see huge candles pumping to the upside. If that's the case, then maybe I'll have to have a relook. But if we can stay corrective, then I do like the shorts from 153.5 for a move back down. Pound yen, another one I'm keeping a close eye on as well, testing some nice areas, but again, very bullish candle close this morning. It was looking very bearish at one point, but then everything flipped around and we closed pretty bullish. So we are testing some nice areas for some downside here. and we have tagged the 0.618, I'm pretty sure. Yes, we have just about came into it this morning. So this is a nice area for a short, but again, I need some development here. Double tops, bearish engulfing candles, wicks before I do look for entries. But if that does present itself there, I will be looking at some shorts to take it right back down to the low around 188.5. So that's still the bias with pound yen. Not ready for shorts yet. And who knows, maybe that break is going to take us a little bit higher. But this is still the area which, for me, has a good chance to form another lower high. And if I do see the necessary confirmations I'm looking for, that's the area which I look to take my trades and see if I can swing it back into the low. But a very, very bullish candle closure this morning. So we're going to see how that does develop. Do we continue that momentum into the next candle, or do we completely reverse that? But yeah, that was a very strong candle closure because everything was looking so bearish and everything just turned around. Yep, then I'm just had a look at UJ and Pound Yen. Ben, what's up? Any news overnight? Big moves? Yeah, I'm not too sure. Not that I was aware of. I mean, the yen were actually moving a lot this morning, really. Bearish overnight, yes, but a lot of movement this morning, and nothing that I'm aware of or I can see anyway in the economic calendar. But yeah, yen pairs were moving like crazy. Ahmed, dollar CAD, euro CAD. Okay, we'll take a look at those for you. So as I mentioned with dollar CAD, I am still looking at buys for this one. I do want to see a more confident break of the high before I do look for any buys, really, because yes, the trend is looking good. We're still seeing higher highs and higher lows. Market's still following this to the upside and seeing some really nice pullbacks and continuations, but we're being a bit corrective now. So I'm priced to really break to the upside, show me some nice momentum, and then I'll start to look for some longs on the next pullback after that. It might be the retest of the high or the retest of the consolidation there as well. Depends on the breakout, depends on the pullback, but more or less just looking for the higher low somewhere on those two areas, because the idea is that, okay, we've had a really big break of that weekly structure. That's the 11-week time frame. We had a big break of structure on the weekly chart, breaking through 1.39. And if that's the case, and price is now ready to keep pushing and come back to some of these areas up here and some of these areas there, around 1.45, 46, there could be a lot of upside to take advantage of with dollar CAD. So I want to be seeing a healthy trend sustain, and then I'll be looking for the pullbacks of that same healthy trend. And so far, the trend is looking pretty good. Some nice moves, some nice pullbacks, but we're being a bit corrected now. So I want price to reinstate that momentum, show me more evidence that the trend is looking good again, and I'll be more than happy trying to find some pullbacks. Now I know that this weekly level is to our backs and doesn't look like price has had a big fake out. It looks like this is the real deal. So yeah, looking for more upside for dollar CAD, but just looking to time those pullbacks well and look to ride it back to some big levels on the weekly chart. In terms of euro CAD, not the biggest fan of this one. I was looking to sell it, but we did break above that low there. Really important support. We did break above it. In fact, looks like we're coming back to retest it as support right now. But we had a really impulsive move not long ago, giving us a really big V-shaped pattern. Price had a correction of that, another big push to the upside as well. So it does look like things are shifting bullish for dollar CAD, even though we were very bearish. It had a really nice drop to the downside. I wouldn't be surprised now if we come back into some of these areas, see a higher low form, and another continuation to the upside. Pound CAD is looking pretty bullish as well. I think Euro CAD might see some upside too. So yeah, with Euro CAD, I would actually be looking at another push higher. Maybe not back to the highs, but it might develop and then we might see a bigger short later on. We'll discuss that at another time. In terms of the next move, I would be looking at a push back to the highs here at least. And I'm treating this bearish move as a pullback for that same push to the highs. So yeah, I'm pretty bullish on dollar CAD, Euro CAD, sorry. Well, both of them actually. And then we'll go from there, because overall it's a pretty big range we've got with EuroCAD. You've got the highs over there, you've got the lows down here, and the market has been pretty much just fluctuating between the highs and the lows. So in terms of the bigger swing, it's always a little bit difficult to predict when we've got conditions like this. I mean, when we're trading at the high there, I was fairly short because of where we're trading. And if we came back to the low, I'll be fairly bullish because of where we're trading. But right now, kind of middle of nowhere a little bit. So the chart isn't looking as great. But I do like the buys here from 1.485, at least back to the highs. And then we'll see what happens after that. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with pound CAD. EuroCAD, have a look at pound CAD, but EuroCAD and dollar CAD. Yeah, I mean, it's not in your traditional calendar, Holy One. I'm pretty sure the information is out there. I'm not too sure where though. There's probably some like reports or something um, about the yen. But yeah, I mean, if it's not in the calendar, then I'm not going to really look to focus on it. But then there's been many events which happen, especially with the yen, which is not a part of the calendar. What's up, Sculpey? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good, my man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let me quickly go through pound CAD whilst I'm on the topic. So yeah, with pound CAD as well, this one looks like it's just about managed a push to the high, or maybe just missed it. More or less, we're there anyway. So yeah, pound CAD was one I was looking to short from last week, but we had a really strong end to the week, of course, with NFP, and that completely invalidated that idea. So I'm still looking at a push to the downside for pound CAD, but it's probably going to be more of a reaction, because this to me looks like a very aggressive V-shaped pattern. Big impulse to the downside, big impulse back up again. Might see a bit of a correction before a strong move breaking the high. So I do think we'll probably have another up move as well, similar to what EuroCAD did. Nice strong up move, bit of a correction. Probably will see continuation of that as well. So I do think short-term sales look good for pound CAD off the reaction of the high here. I just wouldn't look to hold that trade too far, because I do suspect the bigger trade is going to take us through the high. Possibly could be looking at coming back to this area. Strong support in the past. Nice area of demand there as well. Brief consolidation. Strong break to the upside for a lot of momentum. Could see price come back and revisit this area before maybe that same move. But it's difficult because we're not coming into a solid level. But yeah, I think in the meantime, sales look good. But I do think the bigger move is still probably going to take us higher. Jack, what is up? Force an Aussie dollar. Okay, I'll go through Aussie dollar and then we'll go through the rest of the yen pairs as well. So yeah, with Aussie dollar, as I mentioned, it does look like 0.64 is breaking through. Price had a pretty strong close yesterday into the level, and this morning it looks like we're breaking through it. I mean, the daily candle hasn't closed yet, so it's not really confirmed, especially with a day like this where CPI can come in and potentially USD becomes very weak in the afternoon, or even stronger. But it does look like price is breaking through and possibly coming back to the low here as well, 0.63. So with Aussie dollar, if that's the case, there could be another short on the next lower high. We have been very, very consistent with the lower highs for quite a while now. Market's been falling since October, really, and has been very consistent with the lower highs. So if we are going to keep falling and break through this 0.64 level, which looks likely at this point in time, the next pullback looks pretty tasty. We've got one high there, second, third, fourth, looking for the fifth in that sequence. And then we've got 0.63 down there for another test. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty bearish with the price action this morning on Aussie dollar. It looks like DXY might break to the upside as well. I'll wait for the candle to confirm it on the 4-hour chart. But if we do see price close above this, then that would make things very bullish for the dollar, at least for me anyway. I'm looking for a push back to the high there at 107.5, 107.8. If we can respect this, we very much could come right back down again and form a bit of a range here. But if we do see the breakout, then that's the next area I expect price to get to. So if you're going to see dollar make that move, and of course, you're probably going to see Aussie dollar make the opposite move to the downside back into that next level at 0.63. So that's kind of where I'm at with USD. Yeah, I'm still not really looking to take any advantage of the USD strength because of where we're trading. Dollar is still in bearish territory for me back at these highs here, so I can't be looking to take any sells. But if we do kind of break structure, I mean, can't be looking to take any buys. Sorry, not sells. I can't be looking to take any buys. But if we do break structure to the upside and do take out these highs here, then that will be a sign that okay, maybe we are going to go bullish and see a big breakout, and then I can be looking to try and find some pullbacks afterwards to take it higher. But this is still bearish territory for me, so still focused on the shorts. But if we do break through the high, that will be a sign that okay, dollar strength is likely here to stay at least till we get back to the high there, and then we can go from there, see what happens. Do we break through? Do we respect it? Could be a nice double top that sends us right back down again. The price action when we get there would tell us that story. But at the moment, seeing some strength there. And maybe CPI will come in and make or break that level. And we can use that to advantage for tomorrow's PA. But for now, we'll see what happens with that level. In terms of the yen pairs, so we have seen some momentum. At one point in time, things were looking very, very bearish. I was looking at pound yen a lot this morning, and the current 4-hour candle was looking so bearish. And I was thinking, okay, is this price pushing down now? But then came back to the charts and then saw prices completely flipped on itself and closed bullish. And I was like, yeah, that's the market for you. It can definitely turn things around very, very quickly, which is why you want to operate on closed candles, because open candles, they can look very different from now until they close. You only get the whole information when the candle does close. But yeah, it was a strong close to the upside. It's still in an area which I'm looking to sell and looking to anticipate some downside. But judging from the price action, the candlestick formations, nothing's quite ready yet, especially when I'm seeing aggressive wicks to the downside like this. Not a good sign if you're looking to sell at least. I need price to kind of be showing some wicks to the upside now, some double tops to come in, bearish engulfing candles, and then hopefully I can get nice shorts, take it back down. But after seeing kind of formations like this, that's not a great sign as a seller there. Seeing wicks like that, and of course we're kind of seeing wicks like that across the board. If I head over to CHF another one which I'm looking to sell and take some opportunities from. Hey, what's up, Georgie? Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. But again, CHF left a really big wick to the downside as well. Not a good sign if you're looking to sell. I want to see some evidence of some wicks to the upside now and some strong closures to the downside. And that will be something I'll be looking at if I do get short. But we're in a nice area. This is the area I've talked about as the area which I'll look to short from, whipping out the fib from the high to the low. Looking at this level here on the left, which also has acted as a really healthy resistance in the past as well. So it's a really nice area of confluence, an area where prices respected the support and resistance in the past, and where we could definitely do that again. We've pulled back in between the 0.5 and 0.618. So a really healthy area to expect the next lower high. And of course, if you look at the prior bearish structure, we've been pretty consistent with it as well. Now, let's see if we can find the next one and a really nice bearish leg to the downside too. So looking for the shorts, not quite there yet. Again, trading is a game of waiting. You plan a trade and you wait for that trade to set up. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm in the situation where I'm just kind of waiting for price action to set up myself to get the confirmations, and then I'll look to jump in. If not, then I'll stay out the market. But yeah, pound yen in a nice area for a short. Like I said, not a big fan of that candle closure this morning. But things can change. We do have CHF Bank, Bank of Swiss interest rate decision tomorrow. So that'll be very big for CHF. And one of the things will look differently, but still a very strong close into that level. So we'll wait for that to develop. In terms of the other yen pairs, of course, we're seeing similar things as well. So if we go to Euro Yen, as we can see with this one, same thing as well. Big wick to the downside. Price was looking very bearish at one point, but flipped bullish as well. So that might mean we've got a bit more upside in us. When I talked about Euro Yen, I've talked about a couple areas which I do like the shorts from. This being one, and this being the second one. Yeah. and we've hit the first level, but of course, after that wick, I'm not liking the price action. So it might mean we have a slightly bigger push in our hands back to 162, 161, 500, which kind of lines up with that 0.618 area. Might see a bigger pullback like that as such, and then look for find some lower highs in that area. But yeah, with pound yen, euro yen, CHF yen, CHF yen, CHF JPY, they all look good to see some downside. But based on the immediate price action with the candlesticks that just closed, those entry setups not looking quite good yet. In terms of market structure, we're seeing some really nice, bearish swings, lower lows and lower highs, which is great. In terms of timing and getting into a trade, that needs to be great too, which at the moment it is not. So I need that to develop some more and look to see price turn around. But at the moment, nothing for me to do apart from wait. So yeah, we'll keep an eye in that regard. Euro yen's not really a yen pair which I'm looking to trade anyway, because this one's a little bit closer to major support. Yeah, pound yen and CHF yen are the ones I'm more focused on. And then in terms of Aussie yen and New Zealand yen, these guys have had a bit of a push down as well, and then have kind of pushed back up as well. But Aussie and New Zealand have been a bit weaker, which is why these guys haven't seen as much upside. I still do like the areas up here for the retest of their respective ranges. We had that really big consolidation for Aussie and New Zealand yen. We have since broken out of that, and I wouldn't still mind a retest of that area for some shorts. Of course, we're still very far away from that opportunity, but I think it looks really good and still an opportunity which I look to take if price was to get there. So I'm still going to keep a close eye on that if we do make that move. But again, in terms of the bias, in terms of the analysis, still very bearish on this one. I really like the weekly candle closures from the prior week. Is that the current weekly candle? There we go. I don't know what happened there. So yeah, I wouldn't mind some pullbacks into that area and then some more downside. But yeah, very, very bearish on a Aussie yen. And of course, if I go to New Zealand yen as well, same situation. Nice range, healthy breakout. Haven't got the retest since. So if we were to come back and retest that area, I will be very much interested in taking some shorts. And again, another big rejection at that low there. So, is this the sign of price potentially pushing up? Possibly, possibly. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the yen pairs. Litecoin analysis, always looking for Litecoin. We did see a bit of a bounce for the crypto markets, actually. Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're all looking very bearish yesterday. I think they've retraced a bit of that. I haven't seen what's happened with LTC USD, though. Okay, this one just kind of closes a doji yesterday. So yeah, I think in terms of the buys, as I mentioned yesterday, the buys still look relatively nice. Market close. Okay, I mean it's pretty much the same thing anyway. So yeah, in terms of where we're trading, I think it's still a nice place for a buy. If you're looking to trade Litecoin, that is. I'm still not a big fan of how that daily candle closed. I think that's a bit of a red flag, not gonna lie. Because again, in terms of crypto, momentum such a powerful metric to gauge where the price will continue moving in one direction or not. It's such a big bearish candle. So I'm not a big fan of that. But we have gone back to some nice areas where we've seen some resistance in the past and seen some nice rejection presently. So I do think we can see a bit of a buy, maybe back into some of these areas, possibly maybe that range there as well. Maybe we do create new highs, but we need to see some evidence of strong momentum coming back in if this is going to really surge again. It might just be a situation where we slowly climb to the upside form some corrective highs and maybe go through a bigger correction afterwards. So I like the buys here from 108, 104, and these would be some nice targets to have. 124, 132, and yeah, not looking as good for Litecoin, I must say. BTC, we did see a bit of a drop as well. I think it's left behind a bit of wicks. Yeah, it's looking moderately bullish today, but overall, I'm still looking at this as a bit of a range. For Bitcoin, you got some equal highs there. You got equal lows here, roughly. So overall, Bitcoin's just kind of ranging, but all in all, 100K has formed a really powerful level of resistance. And it has held price really 100K. So it's interesting. People just taking profit there once we've hit 100K, possibly. That could be the case. Another market that is having an issue. So yeah, it looks like we're kind of stalling at 100K here. So if we do go and break through 100K, that might be the next bullish phase and the next continuation. But I would wait for that strong break of that high to happen first. Otherwise, we might continue to range and move sideways and correct in this area, which isn't the worst sign in the world. Bitcoin has seen a lot of momentum. This could just be a healthy pause for the next phase to the upside. If you go look at prior bullish cycles with Bitcoin, we don't just consistently move in one direction. We do have consolidation. We do have phases where we have some corrections as well before continuing. So it's still looking healthy as long as we're not seeing powerful bearish candles push down. I think we're still looking good. It just might be a bit of a pause. So yeah, still looking at Bitcoin pushing to the upside, but it's a breakout situation which could happen at any point. Okay. Yen pair's kind of starting to look like reversals rather than pullbacks. Yeah, getting some impressions like that. Because there are different characteristics with some yen pairs with the pullbacks. But with me, with pound yen and CHF JPY, I still like the shorts with them too. And those are the only two which I'm really looking to short. Maybe if Aussie yen and New Zealand yen get to their ranges, I'll like it. But after looking at the candlestick closure this morning, that is not looking good at all for sells. And maybe this is a candlestick that represents price trying to continue to push on. That could be the case. If that's the case, I will look to stay out the market there with jumping to any more sells. Same with CHF JPY as well. It is looking like price is trying to turn around, but things can change very quickly. I think CHF JPY still looks like a correction to me. This is still much more corrective than the impulse leg here as well. So I'm still behind the shorts here, but of course with a candle closure like that, it's looking very difficult to short right now. So I need a lot of development in this area, some double tops, aggressive wicks to the upside. If we can see just as aggressive wick pointing up as we got one pointing down, I can kind of cancel that out a little bit. But yeah, it's looking a little bit more worrying, especially with the recent price action. And some of them don't even look particularly great as well. So yeah, CHF JPY and pound yen are the two I'm looking at for shorts. I think CHF JPY looks the better of the two, but with the candlestick closures, the past 4-hour candle at least, not looking particularly great. And I think the hourly close really bullish as well. So things can change. Again, the thing is to stay flexible. If the market is going to push to the upside and we end up getting a big kind of reversal, maybe turns into a big V-shaped pattern like this, big impulse down, big impulse up, then we can talk about some reversals afterwards. But yeah, we're going to see how things develop in that area. But I have to admit and agree, they're not looking good to be shorted just yet. Good morning. How I say good morning to Lord and Sculpey? I think I have. If not, good morning. Hope you guys are well. I think I have. Given pullback for continuations down, but I don't know anymore. Please help. Okay, we'll go through some more yen pairs, but some are looking better than others. The thing is not to be looking to try and get into all of them. The task is trying to find the better market, which makes the most sense and fits the plan the best as short. But we'll go through some of them. Ascending wedge, which tend to break to downside BTC. Yeah, a little bit as well. We are being a bit corrective, but I'm not too worried about Bitcoin unless I see some big candles pushing down. Then that's when I'll start to worry about Bitcoin, because I've seen corrective phases with other um, with other um, bullish moves. Like, for example, when we got very corrective in this area here, price still eventually had a pretty nice move to the upside afterwards. I mean, that was a pretty nice kind of like corrective move down, which we broke to the upside as well. And then we got really corrective over here, which was a big sign that we're about to melt. And we're getting kind of similar characteristics to that. Not as aggressive or as obvious, but price is becoming a little bit slower as well. So if you kind of continue that some more, especially if you break the high and come back down as well, then yeah, that might just form a bit of a ascending channel, which does break down. And if we see some strong momentum pushing lower, that would worry me with Bitcoin. And yeah, not necessarily that we're going to melt down, but it might mean that, okay, this bullish phase might be over and we could go into another big correction, maybe something similar to that or even longer. But yeah, you're definitely right there, Sculpey. Price is becoming very corrective now. So it's up to Bitcoin whether we're going to continue that corrective behavior and possibly sell off, or we'll try and break through that and show some momentum. Because that's the main metric I'm looking at, momentum with BTC and other cryptos, which at the moment is it is slowing down. But yeah, we'll go through some yen pairs. GJ inverse head and shoulders, okay. Really short from yesterday, CTFJY, but when that wick took place, I got spooked, still holding though, okay. I'll take a look at both of them. All right, no problem. More. Have a good lunch. Pavinator, what is up? Happy Wednesday, right back at you. Okay, areas hit, now waiting for reversal to buy. Okay, nice. Nice patience, though, because you said that at least a week ago. You wait pretty patiently for it to come around. Now you're looking for your entries. But yeah, we'll go discuss that shortly. I'll just go through some yen pairs, and then we'll get to Aussie dollar. What's up, Antonio? Afternoon, hope you're well. Welcome. So yeah, with GJ, and then I'll take a look at pound yen. Ben, you mentioned the inverse head and shoulder pattern. Yeah, let me know which time frame you're looking at. Okay, I think you might be talking about this left head, right shoulder, and that being the neckline. Yeah, that does fit the mold, to be fair, for inverse head and shoulder pattern. And we've kind of seen the wave of that as well. The price has broken through that kind of neckline a while ago. And we've seen a pretty nice move to the upside from that. So yeah, I mean, we have definitely seen a reversal of that bear structure in the hourly chart, and price has been looking pretty bullish since then. So it's just up to pound yen whether we are going to form another low high and continue this path, and then continue the path or not. Again, my thinking with pound yen is that we've had another bearish swing from that high. Price is having a pullback of that, and I'm looking for the continuation. That might not be the case. Maybe price is ready to boom to the upside and continue. That could very well be the situation. But this is my area of confidence where shorts do look good based on structure. Now I have to wait for them to look good based on the candlesticks. And so far, that is not the case. And maybe we are going to push to the upside and continue. And if that is the case, I'll make sure I'll stay out of the market. But if things develop well and things look bearish again, which at the moment, that's going to take a lot of development because we just had a really strong hammer candle there to the upside, which is a sign of continuation, if anything. So a lot of things need to happen before I do place a trade here. But if they do happen, and if I do get a setup, I will take the trade. Worst case scenario, I take a stop and price keeps pushing up, and then I'll reinvestigate. Maybe we are looking bullish afterwards. But there is a chance that this could just be a big kind of V-shaped pattern as well. We do kind of push off as well. And as I said with CTF-JPY, if that's the case, might see a bit of a correction and get the bigger continuation after that. And that would be a whole different ball game in itself. But for now, I'm still looking at an impulse correction there for another push down. And I'll look to see how things develop. But at the moment, not looking great. And CTF-JPY, similar situation as well. It's a tricky one, Lauder, because that candle does not look good at all. It's not a sign of bearish behavior. Let's be frank with that. It might be at a nice location to short. You said you were short yesterday, so I'd imagine you're short probably around here somewhere. So you did catch a nice reaction to the downside. It's just that price has formed a really aggressive reaction to that and has closed pretty bullish. But of course, that's up to your trade management and how you want to deal with that. But it's still a nice area where, again, shorts do look good. Really nice bearish leg there. Could see another low high for push down. For me, it's not quite developed just yet. So I'm going to keep an eye to see how this forms, and hopefully I can get a trade soon. And the reason why I'm still holding onto that bearish bias as well is because we haven't seen much momentum to the upside. This is still very corrective behavior. If this is a reversal, I would expect a strong momentum, bigger candlesticks, and price not to be as slow as it is right now. So because we are still really corrective on these up moves, I'm still under the impression that I do think we can roll over. Maybe this bullish candle means we might have a slightly deeper correction, but I'm still looking at this as a correction for push down. If it was more impulsive and we didn't have so much pullbacks, maybe I'll be a bit more bullish, but this is still looking very corrective to me. So I do think we can have a push down. The same with pound yen as well. Still fairly corrective with this move up high. So unless something changes, I'm still looking at the shorts. So that's kind of where I'm at. But other yen pairs not looking great to be shorted, like dollar yen, for example. That's looking pretty bullish at the moment. I mean, I still like the shorts for this one a little bit higher up, but of course, at the moment right now, that's a pretty strong candle closure. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a bit more upside for this one. But then when we get to 153.5, could be a different story. We might get a nice sell. But very strong candle closures this morning. Okay, So that was definitely inverse head and shoulder, Ben. But the thing about head and shoulder patterns and inverse head and shoulder patterns, they do represent reversal, but they don't necessarily represent how far the reversal could go. So if you do see price give you a nice head and shoulder pattern or inverse head and shoulder pattern, and you get a nice break of the neckline, the structure, it does normally typically mean more downside, but not necessarily that we're going to continue forever. You very much could see one or two bearish legs and price starts being bullish again. Doesn't mean the pattern necessarily failed. You still saw some bearish swings. But in terms of how far that will go, how long it will last, that's always, difficult to tell. But that was a very nice inverse head and shoulder pattern there on the lower time frames. Fighting with the 50 EMA on pound yen. That's the 200, which we're still fighting with as well. In terms of the 50. Okay, I mean, it looks like we're sort of breaking through the 50, to be honest, Sculpey, with the price action. Looks like we are trying to break through. But then I probably would expect price to break through the 50 anyway for the deeper pullback I was looking for. But it looks like price is stuck on that 200. So that'll be interesting to see how that develops. If the market will stay reacting with it or will try and break completely through it. But that's my area of interest. If you can hold on to that area, I'm looking at some downside. Copper, okay, I'll have a look-see for you, no problem. Okay, daily chart, okay. Let me have a quick look. Okay, we are kind of breaking up and down with it. So it depends what we want to do. I mean, no, that's the 200. Sorry. I mean, depends what what price is ready to do. Is it ready to continue the trend, or is it gonna turn around? But yeah, it is coming back into the 50 as well on the daily chart there. If we do break above that cleanly, again, that might be a sign that okay, we potentially are reversing to the upside. But it's in a nice area of confluence regardless. So if we can keep that up, I do think we can see a lot more downside. If not, readjust and we'll see where we go from there. Maybe there might be some nice buy setups too, but I'm not quite convinced of that just yet. Okay, so look at copper. I haven't looked at that in a while. Pound CAD as well. If you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. Do appreciate everyone who has liked, subscribed to the channel. And of course, make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss on any streams or uploads in the future. But I do appreciate everyone who has liked and subscribed so far. What is copper again? I forget copper. Yeah, I completely forget it. Copper. Oh, XCU, that's it. XCU USD. We'll go Oanda. Okay, so copper, what are you telling me? Still looking pretty bullish overall there. I mean, generally speaking, metals are pretty bullish. So yeah, I mean, the buys actually look pretty good here. This is the daily chart. I mean, depends what you're looking for. I would actually be looking at buys if you can approach the low here again. I think overall there's a big bullish swing to be had with copper. We create some new highs there not long ago, and to me, it looks like we're having a bit of a pullback of that. And the market has been pretty consistent with the high lows here, 1, 2, and this looks like a nice place for a third. Bounce off that and possibly another swing. So I like the buys down there. In the meantime, there might be some nice shorts on the way there before the buy, but I think this looks like a really nice long-term opportunity to potentially swing copper to the upside again. So yeah, I like 3.9 as a nice place for a long-term buy. In terms of the immediate price action, I think shorts look pretty good, to be honest. We've got some successive lower highs here, 2, 3, potentially 4 there as well. Looks like we've just come back to retest some structure there as well. I like the rejection there too. So you might even see another drop there for copper to get us the nice buys I just spoke of and possibly the next swing to the upside. So yeah, for copper, I think some shorts look good here. Yeah, I think some shorts look good here. I think the longer term move is still definitely bullish with this one. Look at the monthly chart. Yeah, still very bullish on this one. But I would be looking at some shorts here. 4.25 to 3.95 and possibly a move back up again. In terms of GB CAD, so yeah, pound CAD, I said there could be some bit of downside because we had a pretty big up move. The market's a bit overextended, and now we're approaching some big levels of resistance at 1.81. So we might see a reaction based off that. But overall, I am looking for some more upside for pound CAD. I do think this looks like a big V-shaped pattern. Impulse down, impulse back up again. So I'm looking at this being another higher low and a continuation of that. And typically these patterns do work out very well. So looking at a correction and then a continuation. But yeah, I was looking for the lower high last week, never really set up, and price kept pushing. Now we've approached some big levels of resistance, so naturally looking for a move down. And if that does sustain, probably going to see price eventually push back up again. So yeah, pound CAD, I think the bigger move is still to the upside. Euro CAD, I'm looking at a similar thing as well for both of them, Euro CAD and pound CAD. But naturally, there might be a bit of downside as we come back into the highs. But maybe as we approach this area, some nice support, also nice area of demand. They consolidate there, strong move to the upside. Might see a bit of a correction before we do continue. But overall, pretty bullish. All right, take care, Scalpy. Have a good one, my man. Yeah, there's news today, so keep an eye out with that. Trade safe, but I appreciate it. Hope to see you tomorrow. But yeah, with pound CAD, that's kind of what I'm looking at. In terms of Aussie CAD and New Zealand CAD, however, it's interestingly pretty different with those two. Aussie CAD, New Zealand CAD were very bearish yesterday. Did see another drop to the downside, taking out some nice lows. And it does look like Aussie CAD may be finally breaking out of this ascending channel, which we've been trading in for. Oh, did not mean to do that. Trading in for a while. There we go. So as you can see, wait, that looks very wonky. Much better. Is that better? Yeah, it's always a bit tricky when you're using those tools because they have to be exactly proportionate. But anyway, the key area which I want to focus on is this lower trend line here anyway. Market's very consistent, respecting it over the past few weeks, but finally it looks like the market has broken through, retested, and is trading firmly back below. So this could be a key sign that Aussie CAD could be in for a really big move to the downside. And when I mean really big, I mean possibly back to the lows here. Typically, when these patterns eventually break lower, they normally do come back to the origin, back to the swing low, which started the move. So we could be in for a really big move, and it makes sense as well. If I expand to the weekly chart, you can see the overall picture of Aussie CAD. It is still pretty bearish, lower high after lower high after lower high. So a move back down into support here is not really so far-fetched. It actually makes a lot of sense if we are going to see a continuation of this corrective trend. There's a good chance you probably are going to see a swing back into the low there, maybe even further into the COVID lows there as well. But it does look like we're gaining on this bearish momentum, and if that does sustain, I think a nice trend does form back to the low. The only thing I don't like about Aussie CAD on the short side of things is that we're really corrective on this way down. So I want momentum to pick up a little bit. If we can get a nice strong break of the low, that would be nice to really show that momentum is picking up again, and we can see some healthy corrections and some continuations based off that. Maybe a nice retest of this low here, maybe something a little bit different, depends how we set up. But overall, it does look like that bullish channel is coming to an end, and we're seeing price break out the lows again. So with EuroCAD and PoundCAD, it looks like there could still be some more upside with those two markets. But then looking at Aussie CAD, this is looking pretty bearish. And if I go over to New Zealand CAD as well, this one too is looking pretty bearish as well. If I go to the daily chart, draw the same bullish channel from the low to the highs up there. You can see it looks like we're starting to break through that as well. We did have a breakout in fairness a couple of weeks ago, but price closed right back above. It looked like a big fake out, but it never really got going. If I drop to the 4-hour chart, we had this bearish descending channel, which I said, okay, if price can break outside of this channel, that might be the start of a big up move for New Zealand CAD, because at that point, we're respecting the low of the daily channel. And at that point, we're breaking out the 4-hour channel. So now we've got kind of the green light to expect price to continue that uptrend. But we kind of had a bit of a fake out. Price failed to do that. Now momentum's kicking back bearish again. So if we do keep that up and break to the downside, again, there could be some really nice shorts on New Zealand CAD back into the prior lows, back down at 0.795 as well. So yeah, entity CAD looks to me that we could be seeing a big bearish move. Aussie CAD is a similar situation as well. But I find it quite interesting because my bias is pretty bearish on those two. Not really confirmed yet. Still need a bit more downside to really be looking at opportunities actively. But it looks like we are leaning towards that direction. But then you've got EuroCAD and PoundCAD, which look pretty bullish at the moment. So it just shows you the big difference between euro, pounds, Aussie, New Zealand dollar. But yeah, for me, looking for a drop there, and hopefully some shorts back into that low. Don't really have an opportunity to capitalize on that yet. Like I said, I want price to show me a bit more downside really before I do start to look to sell. So that means breaking through the lows here some more. And then hopefully maybe some shorts after that. Retesting some lows there, or it depends how we break out, but I'll map out that closer to to when it actually does set up. But yeah, in terms of direction, looking at push back into the low, and same thing for Aussie CAD as well. But Euro and Pound CAD, these guys, I do think we can see probably another reaction to the upside. Okay, I'll go take a look at gold, and then we'll go through some of the crosses. So pound Aussie, pound NZD, Euro NZD, Euro Aussie, Euro pound, all those guys will go through. They've been very, very bullish. They've seen some new highs, and I am looking at some shorts for some of them because I do expect them to turn around. But I'll go through gold first, and then we'll start to go through some of those markets. So gold I don't like at the moment, but I'm starting to. If it can break through the high, then I'll start looking for opportunities. Silver looks really good. I'll go through that shortly. But gold, the idea is I'm still looking for a push back to the all-time high, which is 27.89. That's still the main goal with gold. But I just want to see a pullback and a break of structure first. At this moment in time, you can still respect this area and come back down. This is a nice area where we consolidated for a few days, and looks like we've seen some healthy momentum on the breakout. And we haven't really come back for the retest of that same area either. So it looks like a nice place for a buy if we'll come back and retest it. But first, I do want price to break the highs to show some evidence of some bullish market structure. High, higher low, higher high. Looking for the next higher low. And again, looking for the next high. So the idea with gold is that we are looking for pushback to the high, but just need the break of structure first. Whereas with silver, everything looks pretty clean on that end. We had really no bearish structure in place anyway. Markets overall has been trending pretty well. This to me looks like another higher low. Since the higher low we formed down here, this looks like the next one. If that is the next one, then there's a good chance we're coming back to the high at 34.87. So silver looks really good, at least compared to gold anyway, and had a strong break out of the range here as well. And a big consolidation here. Price has broken that to the upside. So I'm looking for a bit more upside first before I do look to long silver. Wanting a little bit more of a confident break higher, get some pullbacks going, find the next high low, and hopefully trade that back to the high there at 34.8. So yeah, in my book, silver looks really good, much, much better than gold. So that's where my focus is. If gold does break the high, then maybe I start looking at it in a bit more seriousness. But silver looks like a really nice opportunity from a top down to the lower time frames. Ticks every box really. Now it's just about finding a good trade, good entry, good place to put my stop loss, and hopefully I can trade it back to the highs there and maybe further. But overall, pretty bullish on both gold and silver. Okay, we'll go through some of the crosses now. I'll start with pound Aussie for your Antonio. So yeah, pound Aussie was very, very bullish. We created new highs, I'm pretty sure, just past this wick. So yeah, now that we've created new highs past that wick, now I have permission to be looking to sell pound Aussie, because I'm not expecting this bullish trend to go on forever. I do think about some highs where we could turn around. Now I'm taking out major highs as well. But of course, if I'm looking to sell, I'm not looking to jump straight in, because again, for all I know, price could very much still absolutely fly to the upside. So I'm looking for evidence of price turning around, that being bearish market structure, lower lows and lower highs. And then something like this is where I can get involved and take some shorts, which again could probably take a few days to develop. But that's what I need to get those trades I'm after. If anything, we could still very much push the upside. But now we've taken out the highs there. Not really interested in buying pound Aussie. We've achieved our target, which is get back to the highs. Now that is done. Now I'm looking at trying fading that move in the opposite direction. Maybe the bigger move is still to the upside and we keep trending up, but some counter trend moves is what I'm after, and which could start a really big trade as well to the downside. So yeah, pound Aussie, we're at some areas where I'm looking for that sell. Again, nowhere near ready yet. And like I said, we could still push to the moon if we wanted to, and I might not get the sells. That's completely fine. But I'm just at these prices, I'm not really interested in the buys unless we have some consistent higher highs the market is making above this. Then I'll be sold on the buys here. But when we do take out major highs like we've just done now, the market's very, very vulnerable to turning around and seeing some downside, catching people on the wrong side of the breakout. So if that isn't going to happen and we do see this trend sustain, then I'll start looking for some longs because there's at least evidence that we're still pushing up. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm waiting for. So it's still kind of fresh right now, taking out some major highs. Is price going to turn around, or is price going to continue the trend? I'll wait for some evidence which shows one of those two situations occurring, the reversal, the continuation, and then I'll start to plot some trades. But after we create some highs like that, I don't want to be jumping straight in. And a similar situation for pound entity as well. So you can see with this one, it's partner in crime, really strong move to the upside, breaking through some highs as well. Yeah, the market is looking very, very bullish at the moment. So again, jump straight into this one. I need price either to give me some nice counter trend opportunities, I'll take some shorts somewhere to take it back down, or if price is really going to continue this, then I'll look for the next pullback afterwards and find some buys to the upside. But of course, right now it's a no-brainer. Pound NZD is very, very bullish. We're seeing very, very confident higher highs and higher lows. But because we've just taken out a major high, being this high here, it's now an area where the market's a bit more vulnerable and where we could potentially turn around. If that's not the case, again, I'll wait for the trend to form. Now take some buys. But once we take out big highs initially, that's the time where I'm kind of sitting back, waiting to see what the market's going to do. And then I'll step in once everything is kind of confirmed. But yeah, the market has been very bullish the past kind of week or so. Okay, so I'll finish off some of the crosses, and I'll take a look at US 30. We'll go look at some of the other indices because I haven't actually looked at the indices yet. Euro NZD and Euro Aussie. So these guys not looking as good as pound NZD or pound Aussie. With those two we looked at, we had some new highs, create some new heights. So the shorts look good on the way down. Or again, if the trend wants to continue, buys look good as well to follow that momentum. Right now, if Euro Aussie and Euro NZD, we're still in the middle of a range here, not really trading at nice prices. I mean, this is not a bad place for a short, but we had the reaction at the start of the week, so now I'm not looking as interested in getting any sells. There might still be a nice reaction, but I don't expect it to last for too long. So if you're looking for a short-term sell, this could be a nice place for it. It's a nice high, strong rejection. We create new lows from that high as well. So it's definitely not a bad place for a short. It's just judging how price is looking. I wouldn't be expecting this one to last for too long. If you're looking for a nice intraday scalp almost, it's probably not a bad area for it. In terms of Euro NZD, I think this one looks even worse, really. Yeah, this one's kind of, I mean, if you can push a little bit higher, that's not a bad place to short from as well, short term. But again, overall, the market is very much ranging between equal highs up there and equal lows down there as well. So we're neither at the high or at the low of the range, therefore not really something I want to get involved with. I mean, this is a nice high there to short from as well, but I would expect just more of a short-term reaction. Maybe the bigger move is still to take us to the upside here. So yeah, with UNSD, not a bad place, 1.825. Again, if you're looking for reactions and short-term trades, I think that's a nice area. There's a difference between looking to take advantage of a swing of a market and a reaction. Reactions where prices come back to a nice area, where potentially buyers and sellers could be looking to take profit. In this case, buyers looking to secure profit there, might see a nice reaction from that, but then the bigger move might still be, price pushing higher. So I'd watch out for something like that with Euro NZD. But again, just not really healthy conditions, not really trending well. So it's a market which I'm not really looking at too much. I'll take a look at US 30, and then we'll go through the rest of the pairs afterwards. I mean, we'll go through the indices together. So yeah, US 30, as discussed yesterday, looking for some pullbacks for some more upside. We created some new highs not long ago. Price was very, very corrective, and we did see price have a nice push to the downside there. And I do like this area here at 43,900. It's a nice area of support, area of demand as well, where we did consolidate for a few hours and had a really strong move to the upside. This looks like a nice area to buy from. A lot of confidence there. You got the 200 running through the market there as well. You got the 50, 0.618 in that area. Of course, you've got that nice healthy area of demand too. So if US 30 is just going to continue that uptrend and continue pushing to the upside, this is the area which I do expect the buys to come in from and take us back to the highs. Overall, the market's still seeing higher highs and higher lows. The trend is still very much bullish on all the major time frames. So looking to buy US 30 in this climate is a no-brainer. It's just about timing the buys well and staying in tune with the market. And this is a healthy place for a buy. So yeah, US 30 I'll be keeping keep an eye out for the longs here. The bearish move is still pretty much corrective. It's still giving me characteristics of a pullback. I'm not seeing heavy momentum, so I do expect this to eventually fade and see price give us a really big move back to the highs. So that's really what I'll be after there for US 30. I think NAS looks probably equally as good. I'm not too sure if that one's pulled back as much. No, it hasn't pulled back as much, but I like this opportunity here with NAS as well. It's very similar confluence with the US 30 opportunity we just looked at. So you got the low, you got the high up there. Excuse me. And you got nice confluence here as well. 0.5 running through that same level. Prior resistance, strong break to the upside, haven't come back for the retest. And you're probably, if you do pull back here, probably going to see the 200 line up with that area there too as well. So not a bad area for a buy. The 200 has acted very well as support there in the past too. So good chance we could see that happen again. And again, it's a bullish climate. Look at the higher time frames, what we're doing, successfully pushing to the upside, keeping that trend alive. So pullbacks on the NAS look like a no-brainer, and expecting new highs to shortly follow afterwards. S&P is the one I don't like as much. Again, the correlation between the three are very, very strong. So just because I don't like US 500's price action doesn't mean we can't push on. It just means that I'd rather much jump into a trade in US 30 or NAS because it looks a lot cleaner. I like the same area in terms of we've got the 0.5, 0.618 in that area. We've got the 200 in that area as well. It's just there's no solid level of support or demand to buy from. Therefore, the opportunity does diminish in quality. But again, if it does pull back there, there's a good chance we probably will have another reaction and see a push to the upside as well. It's just looking at US 100. There's a lot more going for it in terms of the area we're coming into. And in terms of US 30 as well, there's a lot more going for it in terms of the area which are coming into in that market as well. So yeah, US 30 I like more upside with that one. US 100 I like more upside with that one. And S&P I expect more upside with that one because the trend's still very bullish, but just not as quality as the other two indices. All right, More, welcome back. It was a great lunch. What did you have for lunch? Make some people on the stream hungry. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the indices in terms of the DAX. Is that still looking bullish as ever? Yep, very, very bullish stuff there. Strong move to the upside. I need to adjust that fib now. So yeah, we've got the 50 in that area. That looks like a nice place for a buy. Both of them do. Nice trades for both of them, but because the breakout's been so big, probably going to realistically see 19,700. Even if we pull back that much, that'll still be a pretty big pullback, really. But I like the buys there for both of them, for both of those levels. DAX is very bullish, really healthy breakout. Trends overall up, so expecting more upside in terms of UK 100. Yeah, I don't like this one. I think eventually we're going to see a nice push to the upside as well. I think price is getting ready for that big push, but I would wait for some bigger pullbacks to some of these areas here before looking for any buys. If we can get a correction like this, I think that's a nice little buy opportunity. Something like that as well. Yeah, but overall, indices looking like we can still attack higher. But is anyone looking to trade the indices this week? US 30, S&P, NAS. I know, Lauder, you've been looking at some US 30 opportunities, and I'm pretty sure we're looking at similar areas, to be honest, in terms of the longs. Not too far away now, though. I'll go through the rest of the crosses. So we'll go take a look at euro pound. This was looking very bearish yesterday. Is it still? Yeah, still looking pretty bearish as well. Again, the key thing with this one is the monthly chart. Are we going to break through that monthly zone or not? And that will be the indication of what we do in the next month with euro pound, whether we're looking to buy or sell. But a strong break of this level does open up the door to some really big shorts for euro pound, and possibly could see price really drop. I'll be looking at kind of this area here for euro pound if we do break through 0.78. And that could be a really big drop because it's the monthly chart, so it's not going to be a small move at all. But then on the other hand, if we do respect the level, it could be a really nice buy here and take it back to the highs here, back to the highs there, maybe beyond that as well. So it's a very pivotal place for euro pound, which is why I'm still looking for the reversal. But dropping to the low time frames, we're not seeing that happen at all, really. The market structure is still very, very bearish, still seeing consecutive lower highs and lower lows, and taking out the lows there as well. So I'm waiting for evidence of bullish structure coming back into play. Market giving us higher highs and higher lows, breaking structure as well. That'd be very nice too. And then we can start to talk about some longs on the next pullbacks and ride that to the upside if we're going to bounce, of course, on the monthly level. If not, we get a strong break to the low, then we can talk about some pullbacks, retest some areas, and take it down. Either which way, there's a big move to be had for euro pound, whether we're going to respect support or break through. But yeah, because we're so corrective coming down, I do expect the bounce to happen. But it's just we haven't had any evidence of that happen just yet. So staying patient with euro pound. It's a very choppy pair. It takes its time. I don't expect reversal to happen swiftly. If we go back to the monthly chart, you can see the last time we did come into this area, we spent about 4 or 5 months in this area, arguably longer, before actually seeing that reversal happen. So we could see something happen again of that nature, maybe even longer as well. So it's definitely a pair that will take its time, but it's an opportunity nonetheless. So going to keep an eye on that. In terms of Aussie New Zealand dollar, I actually do like this one. It's not quite ready yet for my longs, but I do like how everything is situated in the higher time frames. Still seeing consecutive higher highs and higher lows here. But whip out trend line there. Make sure you guys can see it. Consecutive higher lows. So I wouldn't mind if we were to revisit that region again. See another higher low, another bounce. The market's been so consistent with it. We've been taking out highs as well. So evidence that we are trying to push higher as well. But yeah, looking for that bigger correction. And then hopefully can find some longs off the back of that. And who knows how far we can take it, but it makes sense. There's a larger trend at play, and so overall a healthy place for a long. Even if we don't take advantage of the full swing, probably still trail stops. Well, can still walk away for a decent size winner there. So yeah, Aussie New Zealand dollar, something I'll keep an eye on. Again, nowhere near really where I want to get involved with, but not too far away either. It's kind of where I'm at with some of the crosses. Okay, still looking at the buy in US 30. Okay, see how the market opens. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, of course, we've got CPI today, so you really don't know. This afternoon, things can look very different and turn around. But overall, technicals look bullish. Market structure is still very bullish, so the bias is there. But of course, whether that presents itself this afternoon after CPI, of course, is yet to be seen. Good morning, Karis. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Oh, scrambled eggs. Fair enough. So if I had that, I literally had. Oh, okay. Not identical, but I had scrambled eggs and avocado this morning for breakfast. So great minds think alike. I like that. But the tuna salad does sound nice though. Okay, you got trade out of euro yen. A profit's profit. That's the whole idea of trading stops. It's to protect the downside and protect your upside as well. in case price does turn around and you want some nice healthy profit. You know, a big pain is to see all that profit potentially turn around and all your floating profit does disappear. Trading stops can help negate that as well. But nice move nonetheless, though, on EUR-EM. What's up, Regina? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Good day to you. I was going to say good morning, but I'm not too sure if it's morning for you. I know it's afternoon, morning for some people. Still morning for me, just about. Kwame, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Hey, good morning, Thomas. Welcome to the stream. Oh, from South Carolina. Nice. Very early in the morning for you then. But welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Kwame, what's up? New Zealand dollar looks bearish and while waiting for today's news. Yeah, of course, with the CPI today, things are going to look very interesting. But yeah, USD markets are looking pretty bearish as the USD looks like it's falling. If it does take out the current low at 0.57709, then there's probably a good chance we do push the COVID lows down at 0.55558 or fives there. But we haven't come back to revisit the COVID lows since we kind of had that drop in COVID. And I do think there's a good chance we do get there. This is kind of like the last obstacle on our way. If I zoom out to the weekly chart so you can guys see it a little bit better. Actually, that's not the COVID lows, is it? That's the COVID lows. My bad. That's the Russia-Ukraine. When we had the big drop there in 2022, that's the COVID lows down there. But in fairness, we haven't been back there since either. So we could be seeing a push back to these areas. There'll be a lot of liquidity underneath those lows too. And if we do break through that support level, that's going to open up the door to these areas here. So there could be a really big drop for NZD-USD. Of course, US dollar has to be strong for that to happen as well. But there is an opportunity that we do see a lot of downside there for New Zealand dollar. I'm going to wait to see how the daily candle closes, whether we get the break of that structure or not. But if we do see a strong candle close below that low, yeah, it does look pretty bearish for New Zealand dollar. And we just spoke about USD as well. It looks like we might be breaking the high. I'll get to that in a second. But if we can see this momentum sustain and really push on, there could be some nice pullbacks here and some shorts off the back of that. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for NZD-USD. And of course, targets back down at 0.55555. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for New Zealand dollar. And of course, dollar, if we go to that one quickly, USD index, if it does break through the high here, then I would expect to push back to the high over there. So if that's the case, that will probably drag New Zealand dollar down with it as well. Okay, 630. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. I suppose the West Coast is probably still going to bed, maybe. Just waiting patience, see what happens next. Yeah, of course, there's nothing. I mean, that's as a technical trader with the news, that's all you can do, really. You're going to be focused to see how price reacts to the news. Because, again, with news, price can either do one or two things, move up or move down. And as a technical trader, you're probably going to have a bias based on the technicals before the news anyway. So it's either the price is going to set up how you want it to and you get some nice trades going, or maybe things change, maybe invalidate some structure, direction changes, you reanalyze and you go again from there. But yeah, we do have Bank of Canada as well today, so keep an eye on that. Then we've got Bank of England, Bank of Euro, tomorrow, and Swiss too. So we've got quite a few interest rates coming up. But yeah, USD index, if we can break through 106,600, the level we're currently trading at, then I do think we're going to see some USD strength back to the high. So maybe we'll find that out this afternoon. This current 4-hour candles looks like it's going to close as a doji. Still got 21 minutes left. So who knows, things can change. But if we do close as a doji, then we're going to have to rely on the news this afternoon, either to push us down or break us to the upside. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens regarding USD. Is anyone looking to trade USD markets this afternoon? Are you going to wait for the news or wait till after the news? Yeah, I know more. Okay, depending on news today, dollar CAD and euro CAD. Okay, yeah, I mean, again, with the news, it may present itself, it may not present itself in terms of the opportunity you're looking for. So the important thing is just staying on your toes and not trying to have too much expectation of the market. For example, with a pair like dollar CAD, I'm looking for upside for this one. I'm looking for another break to the upside, some more confident highs. Then I'm looking at pullbacks to either one or two areas. So a pullback and a retest of the high, or a pullback and a retest of this range. So those are the opportunities I'm looking at. If price, let's say, after CPI has a really strong drop to the downside like that, and things look very, very bearish, then that would just literally not invalidate the trade, but I won't be looking at the setup anymore, because me looking to take these buys does rely on a strong break of the high, because I want to see evidence that this bullish trend is still very much in flow, and the trend is still healthy. So I need to see big break to the upside to show evidence of the trend continuing. At the moment, we're trying to continue, but we're really just kind of respecting the highs so far. So if you have a strong drop to the downside like that, or anything in that nature this afternoon, I will kind of hold back off my buys for dollar CAD and see how we go from there. Maybe we end up breaking structure, and then maybe I end up looking at sells afterwards, or waiting for another bullish move. If we do see a strong break to the upside this afternoon, and let's say USD is very strong and dollar and CAD is very weak as well, because we've got USD news, but we've also got CAD news as well. So for dollar CAD, you have to keep an eye on both. Um, so let's say if we get a weak CAD and a strong dollar, and dollar CAD rockets, then that looks really good. Then I'll be talking about some pullbacks for this one and looking for at least a retest of the high here. And if we have a deeper correction, then I'll be looking for the retest of this area here around 1.408. So I have measurements in place. If we do see a bearish dollar CAD, I'll step back and be a bit more neutral. If dollar CAD is bullish, when we see a strong break of the high, then I know I'm looking at pullbacks to try and take some buys. So whatever happens with the news, I know what I'm looking to do. And it's kind of just staying flexible, because maybe we are bearish, maybe we are bullish. And you only become stuck in situations if you try and force things to happen. So, for example, because I'm bullish and looking for a buy, um, you kind of miss information. You try and get that buy no matter what happens, and that could be a very sticky situation to be, especially with news coming out soon. Yeah, yeah, similar to what I'm looking at there, Thomas. More, yeah, exactly what I see, what the chart's telling you. I mean, that's all you can do at the end of the day. That's all you can do at the end of the day. You focus what the charts are telling you, and try and be as neutral as possible until you have to be a buyer or seller. If you look at the market from that way, it kind of makes you only take the best trades possible, because at the end of the day, we're all here to try and make a profit. So you want to be looking to buy, you want to be looking to sell, you want opportunities thick and fast. But at the end of the day, that probably will make you very impulsive and um, very easy to take positions, which is not something you want to be. Because every trade you place, you could make money, but you could also lose money as well. So you want the market to work hard if it is going to take your money. If you are going to lose money in the markets, at least make the market work hard to do that. And to make it work hard, you take good trades, precise moments, be patient for them. And if you are taking good trades at the end of the day, then you're probably going to make money anyway. But yeah, hopefully we can get something like that. But exactly, let the trade come to you. That's a nice way to sum it up. Let the trade come to you. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD. But in terms of my personal watch list, it still lines with the yen pairs and still lines with silver. I think silver still looks like a really good opportunity and a really nice swing as well, because if it does go to plan, then we could see a swing all the way back to 35 and maybe beyond as well. So this is definitely something which I want to keep a very close eye on. Break out that consolidation, looking for a strong impulse, pullbacks, high or low, and then looking to ride it back to the high there as well. So this one, in terms of the risk to reward, could be something very, very nice indeed. So I'm going to keep a close eye on silver. I'll keep a close eye on pound yen as well. I'm still looking to short this one, but As we discussed early in the stream, it doesn't look too good right now with that strong close this morning, with that 4-hour candle, the big wick to the downside, and the strong bullish close after that. So that's not really what I want to be seeing. In terms of the confluences, it does line up with the area I want to short from, coming back into the 200 there. Prior support time resistance back into the 0.618. So it's a healthy area where we could see price turn around, put another lower high on in this bearish sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here potentially, and see the next drop. So it ticks those boxes, but in terms of a solid entry, it hasn't ticked that box at all. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on right now with pound yen. Looking for double tops, wicks, bearish engulfing candles. If that can develop in this area, then I'll look to get involved. If not, then I'll stay put. Same with CHF JPY as well, trading in a nice area where, again, looking for price to turn around. Literally same confluence as pound yen, strong drop to the downside, healthy pullback. Hasn't quite tagged the 0.618 yet. Maybe it might do that. It's at least tagged the 50, so it's in a nice area to short anyway. But coming back into the 200, testing a really nice level of resistance and support in the past, and now we're back there again. And it's in a nice area where, again, a low high could form. But judging with that prior bullish candle close, not really looking good to short at the moment. But again, things can change. We got Swiss interest rate decisions tomorrow, so that could change things as well. So staying on my toes, but yeah, I have to admit, not looking good so far. But I've got enough experience to know that things can change very, very quickly. I mean, this 4-hour candle is looking bearish for most of the duration of the candle. Then just before we close, we flip bullish. So things can happen, but nothing there just yet. So in terms of the watch list, silver longs, pound yen, and Swiss yen shorts. I'm going to continue to manage my CAD yen position, which I'm still got my stop loss trail just above the high there. I'm giving this guy a lot of room to play out. I have secured 50% of the position, so I'm not really so emotionally attached to the trades. Not like I got full position running. I did secure 50% when we broke the structure there. So I'm still looking at more downside for CAD yen, but we're having a lot of trouble here to try and break down. And I'm looking to see if we can come back and retest some areas to push back down. So I continue to manage that trade. I'm still pretty bearish with the yen pairs overall, but pound yen and Swiss yen look good to take some shorts. And then outside of that, I'm keeping an eye on pound USD. I still do like the longs with this one, but staying patient. 1.265 and 1.25 kind of the areas I'm looking at. Yeah, and of course dollar CAD as well. If dollar CAD can break the highs, then I'll look for some pullbacks afterwards. But yeah, that kind of sums up my watch list really. We've gone through the crosses. I don't really like any crosses. Actually, pound CHF as well. I do like this one. This one's not quite on the watch list yet because I'm still looking for a big break out of the consolidation. Because the idea with pound CHF is that we had a lovely impulse to the downside. Price had a nice correction. Now I'm looking to take some shorts back into that low 1.07784. So that's the plan for pound CHF. But because we're in this range, I can't look to take anything now. And I've actually been looking for the same short since this candle here, which is back in late October. So over a month now, I've actually been looking to short this one, but we're still consolidating. So the breakout will happen eventually, like I did with the yen pairs, but I'm looking for the breakout to happen. And then that's when I'm looking to take some shorts. So until we get the breakout, I'm not going to focus too much, but I do like the pair. I think there's a lot of room to the downside to take advantage of. And if we are going to see a similar impulse, like we saw in July, happen again there. Could be some really nice shorts to hold. So pound CHF I do like. Aussie CHF I like as well. I have talked about some buys off the low, but does not look like we're holding. So I am going to be eyeing up some shorts back into the wick low here as well. If this level here breaks for Aussie CHF, I do think it's lights out and we're going to see a really big drop back into 0.53638. There's a lot of downside to be had there for Aussie CHF on the move down. But of course, we've got to break through that support level first. And I like it because if I expand to the higher time frames, everything is pointing down for Aussie CHF from the highest of time frames down to down to the daily, down to the 4 hour, everything is pointing down in terms of the trend, in terms of momentum. So there's a good chance we are going to push lower. Of course, if you break the support, and then these are the targets I will have for Aussie CHF if that does happen. So could be a big swing on the cards. Just need to break through the floor first, which looks like price is trying to do. Kwame, New Zealand CHF. Okay, we'll have a look at that one. I'll do that next, actually. Yeah, I think New Zealand CHF is looking bearish too. I think overall CHF pairs could be very bearish. We've got the Swiss interest rate decision tomorrow. I think that's going to be very pivotal in terms of what could be happening next. In terms of the technicals anyway, I'm very bearish. So even if the Swiss interest rates do make CHF very weak, and we do have a bit of a push to the upside, I think that's just an opportunity to short them back down again. If the CHF is very strong tomorrow, then we might see these guys really plummet. And then we'll be kind of scampering around trying to find some pullbacks. But overall, it does look like price is probably going to make another move back to the low. We've been making new low after new low for quite a while now with this one. So as you can see, lows over there, we broke that through, had a nice pullback. Another low over there, broke that through, nice pullback. Looks like we're on our way to see a new low as well. And of course, we've broken through some key support here not long ago. And now we're really bearish. So yeah, I very much agree with that bias on New Zealand CHF. I am looking at a more complex pullback because it's a very corrective pair. It's not like I'm looking for a clean swing to the upside then short. It's not really the pair for that. You can see we do take time on our pullbacks. So something like that could look good whenever it forms, really. I was going to say this week, but we're never going to have a pullback that big this week. And if we do, it will take time to get ready to short anyway. But yeah, I'm very much in agreement with that bias. New Zealand CHF definitely bearish, and I'm looking for us to come back into that wick low. And of course, Aussie CHF, New Zealand CHF, very similar pairs, pretty much do the same thing 80, 90% of the time. So if New Zealand CHF is going to keep falling, there's a good chance Aussie CHF will do the same. Once it does break that support level, then yeah, we got a long way to go. And those are kind of the only CHF pairs I do like: Aussie CHF, New Zealand CHF, Pound CHF. Not a big fan of CAD CHF. This one's still stuck in a range last time I checked. Yes, it is. So price is still dancing around in this area. Not the biggest fan of this one. I do think eventually we'll probably make a similar move to the other CHF pairs and make a move back into that low there at 0.60591. But it's not looking as clean as the other CHF pairs. So I will stay put with CAD. And then Euro CHF, I just don't like at all. It's just very corrective. It's been making new lows, to be honest, which is nice, but it's just very corrective. I do think we're probably going to see another drop back into that low there and go and take that low out. But the key thing I'm keeping my eye on is the Swiss interest rate tomorrow. So yeah, very corrective. Probably going to do something like this and go and take out the low there. But you can see how corrective the price is. So it's not attractive to trade at all, really. And CHF does that a lot, but Euro CHF I find does it more often than other pairs. So yeah, Euro Swiss very corrective, but overall for CHF markets, I'm pretty bearish on. I haven't spoke about dollar CHF actually. The CHF market, but also USD as well. It's actually come back into a nice area for a short. Nice consolidation here. We did have a brief pause there. Nice drop to the downside. Did break through some structure. I think this could be a nice short. I wouldn't look for a big move with this one. I'll look for like a nice reaction for a few hours, maybe at least back to this area. Lines up very well with support there on the left. Then I'll look to book profit here and maybe leave some positions to run. Maybe if we do come back to the low. The reason I say that is because on the higher time frames, we're not really trading at any area of confluence or any significant area. Because with dollar CHF, if I look at the higher time frames, this is equal highs up there, and we've got equal lows down here, which pretty much means we're in a big range. If the market makes equal highs and equal lows, then it's ranging. It's stuck between two highs and two lows. So right now we're trading the middle of that range, which, as I keep saying, is the worst place to be trading in a range. If you're getting involved in a range, you want to be focusing at the high or at the low. That's where you can find nice edge, because either one or two things are going to happen. Either we're going to respect the high and come down, or break the high and break out. And of course, same thing with at the low. When we're in the middle of the range, of course, you can either push up or down too, but you might push up for a little bit and still push down. You might push a third of the way and then push back up again. There's a lot of fluctuation in the middle. It's not just up or down. And the second reason is because you don't really have a sensible place for a stop loss either. When you're at the top of a range, you have a very sensible place for a stop loss above the high. And same thing with when you're trading at the low, a very sensible place for a stop loss below the low. And of course, if you're taking a breakout, then it's the opposite. So if the price is breaking out and retesting, then you can have a stop loss back inside the range because you don't want price to be breaking back in. So that's why I like working with the highs and lows as well, because you get sensible places for a stop loss and you can kind of just get a better read of the market. And overall, your risk rewards can be better as well. If the market does reject the low and push back to the high, looking at a really nice risk reward, riding it back up again. When you're in the middle, you're kind of halfway to an area already, so it becomes a bit more complex. So that's why I don't like dollar CHF and why I haven't really spoken about it much as well. I think the price action looks pretty good on the 4-hour chart in terms of the head and shoulder we had, the left over here, the head over there, and the right shoulder. Really nice break of the neckline as well. So pretty neat and tidy price action. But because where we're situated is in the middle of the range, I'm not really a fanatic of the price action here. If this was just up there, that would be great. Or if it was inverse and down there, that would be great as well. But not in the middle. So yeah, dollar CHF I don't like, not really focused on. But the other CHF pairs I do like, and we'll keep a close eye on. All right, take care. More appreciate you coming on. We'll see you tomorrow, my man. Appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us. But have a good day as well. And yeah, guys, if you have enjoyed the stream, please be sure to drop a like as well. Drop a subscribe. That doesn't make sense, does it? Hit the subscribe button. You guys know what I mean, and hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the CHF pairs. I do like them. Just a bit of work needs to be done. And I think I won't be looking to trade them anyway until after the news has happened tomorrow. But in terms of today, the main focus is CAD and USD. I think USD news is at 115 or 130? 130 UK time. And then CAD is at 245, and rates are expected to drop for CAD. So might see a bearish CAD today. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, in terms of my interest, so waiting for the CHF pairs to break out, looking at the pullbacks on the yen pairs, and then some buys on pound USD, and hopefully some buys on silver as well. Of course, look to manage CAD yen too. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. Nothing really looks set up too short just yet. But pound yen and Swiss yen are in some nice areas. So just kind of keeping a close eye on the price action, wait for that to develop. There could be some nice shorts maybe this afternoon even. But not trying to force anything. I might have a bearish bias from the higher time frames, but I must not let that blind me. Sometimes you'd be very bearish, very bullish on something, so you look for any excuse to buy it, any excuse for it, to sell it, and then you look back on your trade in a week's time, you're like, why did I take that position? And because in the moment you were so bearish, you expect the market to drop or expect the market to push, so you're kind of blinded by that bias, and then you just kind of take any trade you can find. So it's important to kind of put the bias aside and look at the market for what it is. Does it actually look like a good short? Does it fit your plan well? Does it tick your boxes well? If so, then of course take the trade. You're not meant to win every trade, of course. But if you look at the market for what it is and it's not looking like a good short or a good buy, you can always reduce your risk on the trade or go take it in a demo account or just not take the trade altogether. You want to be taking good trades, almost all the time if you can. But I appreciate it, Holy One. Appreciate you tuning in to the stream. But yeah, guys, that does bring us to the end of the stream. If you guys have found it useful, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're not in the Elevating Traders Discord group, make sure you go check it out. Completely free to join. Link to that in the top or at the top of the chat, and also in the description below. You can chat with other traders, join the community, chat with myself as well, and talk about different trading ideas and what you're looking at in the market. So if you are interested to carry on the conversation, jump over there. And if you're looking to find out a bit more about Elevating Traders of the firm, or if you're looking for your discount code, you can find it there as well. So yeah, go check it out if you haven't done so already. But guys, really do appreciate you tuning in to the stream. I will be live again tomorrow, same time as always, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Like I said, be careful with the news. But have a great day, everyone, and I'll catch you all in the next one.